Okay, and so I was kind of, I don't know what I'm going to call this, but inexpensive things that improve my backpacking. Not a very catchy title, but that's kind of what it is. I hope you get some helpful ideas out of this. And so one of the things that I do listen to stuff. Some people don't listen to things when they're on the trail, like music or audiobooks or podcasts. I tend to listen to all three. I also have times when I like to not listen to anything at all. And one of the things that I love is Audibles.com, which provides just, if you haven't heard of it, they basically provide audiobooks, some radio shows, newspapers, all kind of stuff, but in an audible form. The problem with a lot of the books, you can set up a subscription to where you can have like one book a month or two or three. I've never got a subscription because I tend to listen to a little bit of a book and then a little bit of another book and a little bit of another book. But if you buy the books, they're going to cost you $20 to $30 per book. But they have what they call their daily deal, and I've probably got maybe 50, 60, 70 of their daily deals, because their daily deals are usually like $1.95, $2.95, $3.95 for $30 books. And the type of books that I've run across, this is just a couple of them. I tend to like nonfiction, but they also have fiction. They have a little bit of everything. But a couple examples. One of the ones that kind of got me back into my obsession with backpacking and things like that was AWOL on the Appalachian Trail, which is, I think I pronounced that wrong or right or something. But basically it was, if you're not familiar with through hiking, it's basically one guy's journey from Georgia to Maine on the Appalachian Trail, and it fascinates me. I still listen to it probably 3-4 times a week, and I've listened to it over and over, and I don't know if it's just me and the way that I like the sound of it, or if I just like hearing somebody talk about the trail when I'm not on the trail, but that's one of them. Some other ones, Broadcasting Happiness, Gulliver's Travel, Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, Packing for Mars by Mary Roach. She's got some real interesting stuff, and a handful of them have ended up on these daily deals. MASH, the movie, well, I guess it was a book before it was a movie, but the book. Jaws, My Stroke of Insight, which was just a fascinating TED Talks, and then I found out she had a book, and then the book ended up on the daily deal, and so I got that. TED Talks, where they talk about how they develop TED Talks and how a person develops a presentation for it. The Chris Farley show, a biography. The Dorito Effect, Stiff, another Mary Roach book. So those are just a few that I've got, but I've got tons of them, and I tend to have a lot of books that I want to buy. A lot of them tend to end up on this daily deal, so I'll put a link down below where you can click on this. I click on it every day. Some of them I don't buy, some of them I do. But yeah, if you do like to listen to audiobooks of any kind, this is the place to go, and the daily deals is absolutely something you'd want to check out. Minimus. Some of you may have heard of it, especially if you're into backpacking and stuff like that. If you haven't, then you're going to love it. Basically, Minimus has 2,500 plus single size items. So things like the little single pack of soy sauce, Coffee Mate, Tabasco, the antibacterial wet ones, things like that. They're going to have single size items in just tons of stuff. You're always going to have stuff like mustard, mayonnaise, but like Cholula hot sauce, you can get that in a single pack, 14 cents a packet. Miracle Whip, 24 cents. Miss Dash seasoning blend, 11 cents a packet. Tabasco, I had a Tabasco, where'd it go? Tabasco sauce, it's 19 cents for a little packet. But they do charge for shipping. So you don't want to go in and buy a packet and then have to pay for shipping. I'd recommend going through it, deciding what you might want for not only a backpacking trip, but maybe several traveling trips that you may go on. Or if you're planning a trip with a bunch of people, get together and have kind of a brainstorming idea of what you guys are going to do, where you're going to go, all that, and along with that, pull up their site, go through it, and pick a bunch of stuff, and then you only have to have one shipment cost to have it all sent to you. Because each one of these things is very light, but to ship this, I don't know what it is, but it's probably going to be more than $1. But if you were to ship all of this, it's probably not much more than $1. So yeah, if you get together with a bunch of friends and do it, it's going to be a lot better. And some other things they may have, let me see. Oh, Marconi Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil, 44 cents a packet. It's a little packet similar to this. Peanut butter and jelly comes in a little different. Well, they've got the Justin's almond butter. They've also got packs like this of peanut butter. They've also got little tins of peanut butter or jelly, like the jelly you used to see in the restaurants years ago. I don't know if they still have it, but they've got that. This here's a little honey pack, or a little, yeah, whatever you call that, little honey tin or whatever. They also have things for that would fall into the category maybe of toiletries, I guess, like Colgate Wisp toothbrushes. They sell things like that. I use a deodorant that's like a little crystal that you use instead of putting regular antiperspirant on. They have crystal body deodorant towelettes. So rather than carrying that big giant rock thing, they have the towelette that you can take out in the field. They also have Tecnu Oak and Ivy Outdoor Skin Cleanser. So basically, if you're going to be in an area where you may encounter poison oak or poison ivy, for $1.58 they have like a little wipe that if you get it on a small portion of you can wipe it off and hopefully not spread it all over. They've got so many different things. I'm just trying to give you an idea of how varied their variety is. But just go to the site, check it out. I think you're going to enjoy it. Also, travel items. You've probably seen in CVS, Walgreens, Target, Walmart, just about everybody's got a travel section now. A lot of the obvious things you'd think about, you're always going to see little small sample toothpaste, hand sanitizer, things like that. But they've also got things like little mini soaps, something like this, even though I got this somewhere else. I noticed the other day that they had them there. They're little mini toilet paper rolls with a little mini container, and so they've got things like that. I saw these eye drops. I was over looking to buy some eye drops, and I was going to try this out because it's just a lubricating eye drop, but it was $18 for the regular size. Well, I went over there and it was $2 for this little itty bitty size, which was a good way to try it and also a good way to have a little container if I like it and I'm going to be in an area that's dry, like a more desert prone region, then that would be perfect. And that was $3. I would have a hard time paying $18 for anything like that, but yeah, I'll pay $3 for it. And it's something you don't need to go out there on a special trip just to go digging through there. You're going to be in most of these places from time to time anyway. Just anytime you go by them, take a peek and see if it might be something that'll be handy for a backpacking trip or one of your travel trips. And Packet Gourmet. This is another one that a lot of people may know about, a lot of people may not. The way I ran into it was I was looking for, I was going on a trip where Mountain House type freeze-dried meals would have been great, but they're also kind of pricey, and they've got some things in them that I would sometimes prefer not to have. Like I like to reduce sugars and things like that. I can customize it a little more and make my own if I've got those pouches, but where do you get those pouches? Well, Packet Gourmet has the cooking bag pouch that's almost identical to the Mountain House type pouches that you get for their meals. They're FDA approved for food contact. They don't have dioxins or BPA. They're approved for boiling water, freezing, and microwaving. And by boiling water, I don't think they mean put the water in there and then hang it over a fire. I think they mean if you've got water, well, I know they mean that you can take the water that's boiling and pour it into the pouch without it damaging the pouch. It's got a resealable zipper on the top like the Mountain House, and it's got a flat gusseted bottom, so it'll stand up. Basically, it's just like, wouldn't surprise me if Mountain House was getting them from the same place. Now, with that said, I think on their site it mentions they're not reusable, but they're good enough quality to where I do. When I'm done with them, I'll pour a little water in them, shake them out, drink the water, and then, it's not perfectly clean, but I'll wrap it up, throw it in my food bag, and take it back home and reuse them in a lot of cases after I've washed them at home. So I don't know if they recommend that, but they are durable and they clean out really well too. Now, and as far as the size, the small holds 2 cups and it's 60 cents each. The medium holds 3.5 cups and that's 70 cents each. And the large bag is 6 cups and it's 90 cents each. 6 cups, that's a lot of water. It's a pretty good sized bag. I guess if you're going to be going with a family or a group, it might be a need for something like that. I tend to like the small and the medium. The smalls make, great little quick meals like breakfast, and the medium's great size for a dinner-sized meal. Oh, and I've also got this Bison Bottle Bandit Carabiner clip. It's $6.50. I got it at REI. They sell them online also, and I'll put a clip down below. But it's just this simple little aluminum carabiner. I wouldn't hang off the carabiner, but it's good enough to hold my bottle. It just slips onto any pop bottle, and then you can clip it on your belt loop. You can clip it on a backpack or anywhere you need to. When I go out mountain biking, I use it, snowboarding, backpacking. I pretty much have it with me all the time. It's become very automatic. When I get up from my desk to go on a break at work, I grab this, throw it on. I've always got something with me to drink. And it's like a third hand. I don't know how many times I've got out of the car and I've got books or gear or whatever that I want to carry into the house. So I don't want to make a second trip. And this is just another thing I'd have to pile on. Well, I just have to grab it, clip it on my belt loop, and I'm gone. And something I found the other day, I ran across a giant pine cone a couple of years ago, and I'd never heard of it before. I was able to come back home and do a search and found out it was a sugar pine cone. It's probably about that big and about that round. You can't really do that in the field. Can't pull out your computer. So this I thought was a really interesting way to do it. It's Arbor Day Foundation. What tree is that? And it comes in a couple different versions. The North American version for $14.95, and it covers all of North America. The Eastern U.S. version for $5 and the Western U.S. version for $5. This one's the Western U.S. version. It's kind of like a little thicker than like a little pamphlet. So it's not really a book. It's got a little measuring thing on the side. The neat thing about it, it's got full color botanical illustrations, and it's also got a cool step-by-step approach. I'll probably do a single video just on the book itself because I like it. I think it's pretty interesting. But basically what it does is it's step-by-step in such that it'll ask you what type of leaf is it. Are the leaves needles? Are they segmented? Or are they just one big leaf? And depending on what the answer is, it'll direct you to another portion of the book, and then it'll ask, does it have, like the answer needles, it would want to know what type of cone it has, and it'll give you descriptions of that. Other ones might say what type of berry is it. But it basically just asks you these questions and then moves you through to the actual plant itself, and then it gives a little bit more information on that. Yeah, I thought it was fun, and I think it'll give me a different experience when I do go out into nature, because right now I look at nature as a whole and I find it, really nice looking out of the beautiful landscape and looking at things on the trail. But if I know that tree is a certain type of tree, or this is a certain particular type of bird, you can also find books on birds and mushrooms and stuff like that. It makes the experience completely different. Also, from a survival or just getting by in the backcountry, if you know what kind of tree it is, you can, like let's say you're going to start a fire. If you know what a birch tree looks like, the birch bark is going to be better for starting fires. If you're going to be making a bow, there's certain types of woods that are better, like a red oak, a hickory, or an osage is going to provide a better bow for that. But there's different things that you can do, and if you know the type of tree, then that might be helpful. I just like it because I think it's knowing the different types of things kind of interesting. But I'll put a link in where you can find this also. And if you have any other ideas yourself on things that you've come across that are inexpensive, that make your backpacking trips a little interesting, let us know. Put them down in the comments. Please subscribe and have some fun.